Here's the Ridgeline and the continuous loops from Hammock Gear. The Ridgeline is 108 inches long. Now I looked at a number of other locations and most of them were all 110 inches long, and this was 108 that it came with, as you saw in my previous video, and I wanted to keep that 108 inch because it was just absolutely perfect. I could have made my own and all, but these things here delivered to me was $14 and some change. I got to buy all the stuff. I got to buy the two colors I want and all. By the time I get done buying it, I've got the money spent. I got extra stuff kicking around, but it just seemed quicker and easier to do it this way. Now you'll notice I have two different color continuous loops. On a hammock that has a head end that's dedicated and a foot end that's dedicated, you would choose whichever one you wanted to put on each end, so you knew immediately when you pulled it out of the sack which end was which. In this case here, this hammock can go in either direction, so I'm going to put this end at the zippered end where they connect and disconnect, and this will go at the other end. I will probably be sleeping most of the time with my head end up at this end and my feet down by the zipper connection end, so it'll tell me where I'm at and what I need to do to hang it up properly. Now normally I would just do this in the house sitting on the floor watching television or something, but I brought the hammock out here and pulled the bug net off of it and put it up here because it makes it a little easier to show what I'm doing. I will be pulling this piece off and then the other end off too, and doing swapping this out in my lap like I would be normally doing, but I just felt it was better to have it up here and you could see what I was doing and where we were starting from. And what we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to remove this portion here by releasing it and sliding this thing back out through. But before we turn around and pull this out, we're going to want to put a piece of string or something on here, tie this to the new continuous loop so we can suck it on through. This is not going to expand like your regular gathered end hammocks because we're sewn together right here. So we're going to have a little bit of expansion here and a little bit of leeway to work with, but it's not going to be something that's going to be very easy to push through if you don't have a guide rope or something, a guide string pulled through with this. So we're going to do that. I've got the continuous loop, piece of the lightweight paracord I have here. I've double knotted this. Pull good and tight and make sure it's not going to come apart, because the last thing you want is this thing come apart while it's in the middle of it. I'll be doing the same on this end here. Now I'm doing this before I take this apart. Some people would not do it that way. I'm going to do it that way because I don't want to take a chance of have this accidentally pull through or something. This can be a pain to get this out. There we go. And as you see, we've got this down in this area here, and this is about as much as you're going to be able to spread that. If you pull on this, you see it starting to come through. You have a little bit of an issue where this thing overlaps. And this is the little loop that holds the bag in. So you want to be sure you keep that in mind too. going to pull this loose like so and just let it dangle on the side. If it falls in, it's not going to be a big issue because there's a big enough hole here I can shove stuff through, but I'd like to just drag the other piece through that too if I could. I don't want to be too forceful on it because you don't want to damage anything. There we are. I want to just make sure we get this started in here. And we're through. Let's see if I can just pull this on through. Yeah, there we go. You know, the one thing about this stuff, if you never worked with it before, when the first time you feel it, stuff feels like some kind of really cheesy, low-priced product, but it is as strong as can be. All right. I'm going to untie it at this end here. Through, and then we'll take this off. Now you want to get in here, pull this stuff down some so it's down as tight as it needs to be, then work this stuff all back together, giving this full tension you can. Do keep in mind that when you hook this up and crawl in here, it's going to settle and it'll tighten up even more. So it's not that important to get it too tight at this point. Now in my case, I'm not going to go with this anymore. I'm going to go with a cinch buckle here. And we're just going to move it through. And let's see, I may want to go through a second time. And just kind of dress it up here. We're ready to go with that. And I'll be doing the same on the other end. Okay, now as I'm pulling the Ridgeline through, I'm going to be coming up to my organizer. And I'm just going to slip this in here and pull as I pull it through. Now in my case, I will be taking this off because this has to be sewn. But it's just, if yours is fine, you can see what you just pull it on through and then you just work your way on up to the other end here. Now my reason for choosing to use the cinch buckles is partly for ease of adjustment and setting up, and also at the other end, let's just pretend that was a tree. I just loop it around the tree and put the beaner up there and just snap it on. I'm ready to go. Now as for adjusting this thing, all you do is you just pull it up. That makes your adjustment up. If you want to bring it down, you tip it, pull it down. Pretty simple. Besides, I like this bright orange cord and it's going to match the hammock real nice. And another nice thing about having the cinch buckle system is you don't have to disconnect it from the hammock. You just roll this stuff all up, stuff it in the stuff sack with the hammock. All right, I've got the other end already pulled through here, as you can see. Same procedures I did before. There's pulling the old Ridgeline out, and And in comes a new Ridgeline. What they did on that is they just took this thing, this tag end, rolled it around, just tied a knot on it. I normally take these and tie a knot like that, gets nice and secure, but they just tied a knot in it. I'm glad that I did change this. I can see why one of the people had a problem where theirs came adrift. So if you don't change the Ridgeline, you might want to take a look at that that knot that they're using. Instead of doing it like they got here, just take it like this. And tie that into a knot. That knot's not going to slip and slide. Just slip it over that. This through. Press it a little bit in. We're done. All right, now I know people are going to ask me how I attach this on here. So what I do is I run it through the hole here. The lark's headed into place. Now, if this was a wide enough rope, it would be fine. As you can see, it slips and slides. We don't want that. So, pull a little more slack out. Run it again through the hole here. The lark's headed a second time over it. Dress it up. Now it covers the whole thing. Essentially what you got is kind of like a prusik. Pretty easy. Well, that takes care of that. Real nice there. I want to thank my wife Margie for taking care of that for me. And that's the leftovers. I'm sure that some of this stuff here and these here will probably find their way onto something else. This will probably get hacked up and used as prusik knots and what have you. But that's what's left over. We've taken that off and replaced it with some pretty nice stuff. Let me close by saying that the hammock does not feel any different than it did before. It feels exactly the same. The difference is I'm secure in the products that were on it now, and I trust this stuff. These people are innovators. They come up with some pretty good ideas. They have a tarp that has an actual window in it, so you can actually lay in your hammock and look up through the window. I'm not sure how that's going to hold up or not, but I'd sure like to see one of those. Anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time round.